The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid Cult, the unofficial American Horror Story Cult podcast, a PapiChuloRadio.com original series. Papi Chulo Radio, pop culture on demand. Today is Wednesday, September 27th, 2017, and I'm your host, Jeffrey Aruz. During tonight's broadcast, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of FX's American Horror Story Cult. Please welcome my co-hosts, Mike Estes.
Hello, peeps.
And Priscilla Rocha.
Hey, everybody.
Let's jump into our recap of Season 7, Episode 4, which was titled 11-9 and aired September 26th, 2017. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. The whereabouts of the Brookfield Heights residents before, on, and post-election night are revealed. So let's get into it, everyone. I want to get your initial reaction to the episode, and let's start off with Mark.
This was, American Horror Story Cult is just doing it this season. Look, I've not been disappointed by any episode yet, and this was the cherry on the top so far. I loved it.
Priscilla?
Completely agree. I freaking loved this episode, and a part of me wonders if it's because we didn't get to see much of Sarah Paulson's character. Like, she really is like a drain on energy. So, like, not having her, but having everybody else, and the deaths, like, just cherry on top of this, like, beautiful Sunday. It was a great episode.
Priscilla dropping that shade early in the episode.
Yes.
Well, there you go. I agree with both of you. I thought the episode was revelatory. We learned so much. We have, I think, a better idea of what's going on. There was a surprise for me that I was not expecting, which, kudos to the writers. And, it was fun. And it did what American Horror Story does, and what I feel they really do a great job of doing, and that's bouncing through time throughout the episode. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that, and we'll get into it in just a moment. But before we get into a thorough recap of the latest episode of American Horror Story Cult, here's our announcer with a few special announcements.
Follow Papi Chulo Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Papi Chulo Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@papichuloradio.com. Are you interested in joining the Papi Chulo Radio team as an on-air personality? Email talent@papichuloradio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Papi Chulo Radio programs by visiting papichuloradio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through Apple Podcasts and Google Play. Just search for Are You Afraid, Cult, and subscribe.
Thanks, announcer. Let's get into it, and fortunately the writers split this episode up very easily because it basically showed us how 4 characters met Kai before, on, and after election night. And let's get into it, and let's start off with Harrison and Meadow. It's the day after the election, and Harrison meets Kai at the gym. Harrison is a personal trainer, and Kai requests him to basically train him. And we learn that Kai was drawn to Harrison for a couple of reasons. First up, he sees him as being strong, and he also sees him as being someone who is miserable and filled with this rage against his life, or this rage caused by his life. And, after a couple of, training sessions in which Kai is getting trained via workout from Harrison, but it almost seems like Kai is training Harrison and luring him into this web that he's weaving. Kai ends up convincing Harrison to murder his boss because Harrison has been getting humiliated by his boss because Harrison, because he's gay, he has to go and clean up the steam room after guys jerk off in it. And so Harrison murders him, and he has to dispose of the body. He cuts off his head and his hands, and they end up dumping the torso in a landfill. And so while all that is going on, there's this weird sort of interplay between Harrison and Kai. Some of it is sexual, some of it is sort of mentor-mentee. Kai, proclaims that he loves pussy, but he also says something to the gist of, if someone that's in my life, man or woman, if they're part of my crew, if they're one of my peoples, if they're a part of my team, I'm going to fight for them. And if they wake up with a hard-on in the morning, that won't quit, I will find a way to let them know how much I love them. And Kai even ends up jerking off in the shower at the gym, pretty much right in front of Harrison when Harrison catches him. And he jerks off to completion. But bum. He's even gonna clean it up himself. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know you have a friend.
Look, okay, whatever. I'm done with you right now.
Yes. So during the chopping up of the gym boss, that's when Meadow meets Kai. Now, earlier we saw that Meadow and Harrison were going through some financial issues. It seems as if, well, at least I will say Harrison blamed some of it on Meadow, but Meadow's like, hey, blame me for getting cancer, blame me for, going to work at a craft store where, my boss was sexually harassing me until I quit and all this kind of stuff. So they end up losing their house, and Harrison is living basically out of his car, it seemed, at the moment, and they end up getting a really cheap motel room, and Meadow was even at the point where she was gonna have sex for some weed, basically. So when Harrison introduces Meadow to Kai, he's basically like, this is someone you can believe in. And we see that through Meadow is where some of the concepts for the clown masks come from, because she does some sketches of different clown masks. And we also learn through this section of the episode that Kai is the, whatever you want to call it, the inventor of that weird smiley face that we've seen in previous episodes, because he draws that on the door of the steam room a couple of times. So we'll leave, we'll leave that there, and let's focus on Harrison and Meadow meeting Kai. What did y'all think of it? Kai and Harrison, Meadow coming up with the clown costumes. Let's get into it. Priscilla, you can go first.
And Meadow lives a sad life. Do you remember when she like got on top of his lap and he's like, when has that ever worked for you? And she said just twice. She has it
Saying.
enumerated. I was like, fuck, man, you need to get laid. Maybe you should have just asked
Literally.
the people that were giving you weed to just like do it for the because pobrecita, I feel bad for her.
I know, she was like, I don't have that much experience, but I'm really enthusiastic.
And that was the worst. Okay, it was two things about that. One was the fact that she was like, I don't have any experience. I'm like, what are you? You have to be in like your mid 30s to 40s, something.
She's
like
the
that.
40-year-old virgin.
And then
Female
two,
edition.
And then two, you're not selling your ass for some crack or some meth. You selling for some damn weed. Like that's the lowest of the damn tempo. Like I was like, oh my god.
It's better than selling it for Tylenol.
True, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I know people who would give it up for some weed just for some weed alone, though. But come on now, it was just like that's the only how low you get, but this is how basic you are, and that's just how broke y'all are. I'm like, Jesus, that is horrible. So I don't know. I'm sorry, I took that away from myself.
No, that you're completely right. That's what I thought too. It was just kind of like, fuck, she really doesn't value herself very much at all.
Yeah,
But then again, like she's achingly dumb. Like like, do you remember her fucking talking like in the polling line about, hey, maybe we should have tests for the election. Would you pass? No.
Yeah,
But I
but she was also like,
shouldn't
she was like, I don't think I should be voting anyway.
I'm like, Meadow, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh yeah.
So I don't really have much sympathy for her, but I do have sympathy for Harrison because my God, that's a shitty life to have to like be with somebody that you're not sexually attracted to in the slightest, to have everything you've put into, all that work you've put into in a nice home, because that really was a nice home, foreclosed on you because the person that was supposed to that you were supposed to trust with the finances wasn't actually honest with you in telling you that, hey, you need to get another job or something because it's not cutting it. Like she could have warned him, but she didn't. And not even that, his boss is a skeezy motherfucker. I'm so glad that guy's dead. Man, fuck him. Jerk.
Mark?
Oh boy, where do I begin?
Everywhere.
Well, Priscilla's already covered poor Meadow. Harrison, I would say this. A part of me still doesn't care about his life. Only because how can I put this? He was so quick. But then again, I'm gonna take that back. When you've been shitted on all your life and then you finally get a chance to have some type of power, you tend to go into overdrive. And I think that's what both of them doing was like to Allie. Because I keep going back to that scene with them with the Mexican sombreros on and them throwing Taco Bell coupons at her. And I'm thinking like, y'all are horrible. But it's just like, like, can you blame them? Because they've been pretty much shitted on their entire lives. It just, I don't know. And also I love the line. I love the whole interaction between Harrison and Kai. Because one of my friends said he had some good jokes about last night's episode. He said that he posted on Facebook the day his mood was. He said, my mood is Kai after he sat there killed somebody and just texted a message like, what the fuck it just happened? He was just sitting just texting like, yeah, we just killed somebody. Like, who gives a shit? And then Harris is out there freaking out. And he just sitting there just texting. And also, the other thing that got me in that little section was, I'm going to go back to the cold opening with everybody just standing in line. And the thing that came to my mind, I'm probably going to take this a whole nother direction though, but I'm like, how the fuck did y'all not notice that each other is like in line? Like, it just seems so weird to me. Like everybody who is a main player is like in this vicinity, like in this close range.
I don't think that was that unbelievable because if you don't know people,
You don't pay attention to people that are around you.
Yeah,
You're
you
in your
don't.
surroundings. Like,
Did you pay attention to the people that were in line with you when you were in the grocery store recently?
But see, I'm in a small town, so I guess I have no
Oh
choice but to
gosh.
remember people. So that's the thing. I'm in a small town, so I can literally be at the grocery store and then go back to my job at the library, and that person will walk in. Oh, I just saw you at the grocery store. Like, yeah, you know, that's how small my town is. So that's, I guess that's where my mentality is coming from with that, which is kind of small. I hate to admit that, but I
Aw.
don't know. It was just kind of like funny because it looked like a slasher movie.
Yeah.
It's like a slasher
Like
movie opening.
Scream 2.
Yeah, it's like a slasher movie opening where you meet all the main characters before they all start getting picked off one by one. Because that's pretty much well, not all of them got picked off though, but still, it was just kind of like, because we saw Emma Roberts' character and she came in and the exchange between her and Bev was awesome. And one of my friends
We'll be
was like,
talking about Beverly Leslie in a moment. Not Beverly Leslie. That's Will and Grace. We'll be
but
talking about Beverly Hope in a moment.
yeah, it's just and then you saw Allie and it just everybody was just in their own element. And I love this scene. I just loved everything about it. Even when Chaz Bono just bursts up in there bleeding and shit. I'm not gonna get into that right now though, but you kind of see where everybody's mind was in. You kind of see that Allie did, vote for Jill Stein. You saw that Ivy did vote for Hillary. And I was thinking that didn't Harrison also vote for Hillary?
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
He voted for Hillary, so it's like, okay, so he's not a Republican right-wing nut that I thought he was. He was just, he's following orders. So I think that was the only thing that kind of like gave me a reprieve with Harrison, because after the last two episodes, I was like, y'all are just horrible. But then I kind of felt bad for him, only in the sense that I understand where he's coming from, where you're constantly being shit on because not only that you're gay, but just because you just don't feel like you don't have like the power to sit there and talk back or speak up for yourself and everything. So I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
It did.
Man, I forgot to mention something like the shower scene where he's like masturbating. I was like, oh, whoa! The American Horror Story bringing up the shock sex like again.
Mm-hmm.
I was blushing. I was like, damn. I don't know what to I don't know what to do right now. So I'm just gonna keep watching and wonder what the fuck happens next. How he's gonna explain this. And he didn't really explain why he did it anyway. He just did. He just did it.
Yeah.
I got the vapors.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, oh god, oh jeez.
What?
Now I see what everybody likes about Evan Peters.
What do we think that's about though? Like the big picture of like his interactions with Harrison, because it did get very sexual sometimes. I mean, besides, jerking off in front of him. Like, what do we think any of that means? Because it's funny how, like a couple episodes ago, well, no, because she had confessed that to Evan Peters. So it couldn't have been him. Because I was going back to when Meadow was like, oh, he's been hanging around with somebody and blah, blah, blah. And then I started to think, like, maybe, was she talking about Kai? But no, she said that to Kai, so that wouldn't make any sense. But still, I mean, regardless of that, do we think there is some sort of something going on there? Or do you think that was just Kai sort of like using his charms to like lure him into his dirty web?
That's Kai using his charms. No, like, no question about it. Like, I didn't see, like, Kai straight up tells him, I like pussy. So,
But what was that other line about?
Which one?
The one of like, if one of my people wake up with a hard on, like, I'm gonna make sure they're basically satisfied.
I'm like, he sees the desperation in Harrison. So he sees like both the financial desperation, like the sadness that he feels with his boss, and the sexual like deprivation that he's had recently, and he's kind of using that, like all of the tools that he has at his disposal against Harrison.
And I'm going to echo what Priscilla just said, and even go as far as to say that he's doing both, but in the way, like Priscilla just said, using his tools. Like if he has to get him, like if he has to get off to get Harrison to follow in line, you see what I'm saying? If he has to perform a duty to get what he wants out of Harrison, then he will probably go as far as he'll go above beyond the Call of Duty to do that. And I think that's what he was saying, but he maxed it in such a seductive yet, I said this stuff, but I really didn't say it type of way. You know what I'm saying? But, just a little bit to like lure him on, like, yeah, because Harrison was really turned on. I was turned on.
So, wait, so you're saying that Kai is willing to use his tools for Harrison?
Literally and figuratively, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I just wanted to say that because it sounded funny. Okay, so my whole thing with this section was I really enjoyed seeing how Kai's mind works because he's told Harrison straight up, I have been observing you. I have been observing the people in your life. I know about you. I know about them. And I see potential in you and blah, 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 blah. And so we got to see how he basically, profiled these people that he's planning on working with, which is impressive, in my opinion, about, in regards to like his mission and his plan. But it's also creepy as fuck. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. If someone came up to me and was like, I have been observing you, and I know exactly how you will react, or blah blah, I'd be like, that's creepy as fuck. That's like, you call up the police and you're like, I have a stalker.
Therein lies the difference between somebody who would like be placed in a cult and someone who isn't. Like he's targeting people who need something, who want something, who have rage in them because they're the best ones that can be influenced by him.
Yeah. And that's the thing that kind of weirded me out because I'm right there with you, Jeff. I was like, Kai, it just goes to show that, it was a display of like trying to like peel back who is part of the cult, but it also was a showcase of just how Kai's mind really works, just how dangerous he really is without having, because he didn't even, well, he killed one person though, but I'm just saying when, remind me, did Kai finish off the gym manager, or was that Harrison?
Harrison.
That was all Harrison.
Okay,
with the little dumbbell.
Yeah, so, and I'm thinking even when Kai was in the when they were in the bathroom, decapitated dude, Kai was sitting on the toilet, and he was telling him how to do it.
Sitting on the toilet, boom, boom, boom.
And so it just shows.
It's an internet meme, listeners. Look it up.
So just look at it and just look. I just look at it like he is very dangerous because not only has he not performed any type of like murder, well he has, but it's just the fact of at that point in time he didn't have to sit there and lift a finger really. He just like do it, and then those people are kind of dangerous, when they have that much influence on you to the point where their words are they're the puppet master and they're pulling your strings with just their words. They don't have to lift a finger. They're just saying it. And it's like a real version of what's it called?
Paul on Big Brother.
Yeah, that's scary. That was scary. That was an American Horror Story that was played out in real life this year.
Big Brother 19, y'all.
Piece of shit. But yeah, so that was my take on that. But I enjoyed that segment, and I loved how Meadow just came in unfazed. That this guy, the guy she loves, is chopping her head, and she's like, "I'm down with it. It's okay. I'm at the point right now where I just don't have anything else going for me." And so, and that's another thing. He also he not only profiled Harrison, but he technically profiled Meadow through Harrison as well. And so he knew that that's why he didn't look phased when she walked in. I mean, Kai didn't look phased when she walked in because he was like, I got both of them because I know that she's going to be at the point where anything that Harrison does, she's going to be down for. So he kind of got two birds with one stone with that scenario right there.
Yeah, because out of the both of them, like Harrison is definitely the one with the intellect. So you got to get the one with the intellect first, and then, I mean, no offense, Meadow, but like the dumb will follow.
Yep, that's
I
pretty
mean,
much true.
Yeah. I gotta give props to Evan Peters. He was on fire in this episode
Yes.
as Kai. He was just so great. And that scene where he knew everything he needed to do to like cover up the murder. I'm like, good grief, man.
Yeah. And the man is just, I was like, I'm finna throw Evan Peters this damn Emmy nomination right now. I'm just throw it right at his damn head because he deserves it. He deserves the Emmy nomination because he did the damn role last night.
Yeah, he was haunting. Very compelling. Eerie. Just
Creepy.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot.
And the number one thing that killed me about the whole, he was making sense. And I think that's what really scared me was the fact that some of the stuff he was saying, like, oh, I can actually buy that. Even though I know that he is a Trump supporter, but then again, I had to question again. I think you even said it before, Jeff. It was either you or Priscilla or I think it was somebody else who said that maybe Kai is not a Trump supporter. He's just trying to, he's just a supporter of chaos, and he knew that Trump was going to be the most chaotic option, so he went with that. And I don't know, I just feel like it's scary. And, listen to the stuff about Charles Manson and Jim Jones and how they just wrapped up these people with just these, and they knew what buttons to press. It's scary. So yeah, it made my skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Now let's talk about our girl, or at least she's my girl, because I love me some Beverly Hope. Let's get into Beverly Hope. I love Adina Porter. I'm so glad she's a part of American Horror Story. So I love this character. So we see Beverly Hope on election night. She's doing a report, but it seems like the report won't be airing because they're just going to stick with live coverage as opposed to like pre-recorded, segments and that kind of thing. We immediately see that she has a rival, and that rival is Serena Belinda. And we catch up with Beverly in December when she is reporting on a corpse that was found in a landfill. The corpse does not have a head or hands. Yes, it is Harrison's boss. His name is Vinny. And Beverly is reporting on serious stuff. Serena gets to report all these like puff pieces. And while Kai is like watching Beverly's report on the landfill, he ends up rewinding, her dialogue basically, and the reporter Bob, right? His name was Bob.
Yeah.
The anchor. Yeah. The anchor, Bob, ends up referencing that Beverly is back on the job, basically, and so he ends up researching what happened, and it turns out that Beverly experienced something that does happen in the real world. In the real world, it's fuck me right in the pussy. But in the American Horror Story world, it's grab her by the pussy. So, bystanders and all that kind of stuff while she's doing live on the scene reports keep on interrupting her report by screaming grab her by the pussy. And at one point she just had it. So she ends up, smacking
Beating the shit out of somebody
Yeah,
while
with a
it's
microphone.
being comified.
Yes. And then it does, they do what they do. They remix it, they auto-tune it. It was an awesome song, by the way. I hope that it's on YouTube at some point because I will be watching that all the time because it was hilarious. And she actually had to spend a month in a psychiatric facility to treat anger management. And so later on, we see Beverly interrupting Bob and Serena when she's trying to basically sleep her way to the top. And Bob is like, you have to cut, some time off of your story and for Serena and all this kind of stuff. And basically, Beverly's like, you can't fire me. I'm the only black anchor or reporter, in the station. And he basically threatens her and is like, well, you can be replaced, basically. So Beverly ends up slashing Bob's tires. Kai finds her, and they go out and get some coffee, and he explains what he's trying to do. And they talk about her rage and how that's inspirational. And he's like, I'm going to be running for city council. And she's like, yeah, well, there aren't any open seats. And he invites her to visit his campaign office in a few days. He's like, I'll see you there. So while Serena is reporting another fluff piece on pet adoption, we see some clowns arrive on the scene, and they stab the shit out of Serena and her cameraman. And so Beverly accuses Kai of that, and he's like, yeah, I did do it, and I did it for you. And she's like, they aren't even releasing any of that footage. And she's like, I believe you. And she aligns with him, and she makes sure that their power is equal. And we see that Kai is using Beverly basically as his mouthpiece to, as he put it was something to the gist of, fear. We got to get the people scared so that they come running to us, basically. And so next we see Beverly has some information on where Vinny's head is located. So we see that Beverly is in control of the story.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, continue. I was actually about to stop here and say, let's talk about Beverly. So, Mark, you can go first.
Okay, I was gonna say that at that point in time, I saw what he was doing. I mean, yeah, we knew with Harrison and Meadow that he needed sidekicks and whatnot. So, but the way you put it just then, was like she's become the mouthpiece and that she's controlling the narrative. That way, if anybody starts questioning anything, you have the media sitting there telling you what to do. So he's pretty much got all the bases covered. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm gonna wait to say that for the episode in the show, but I cringed when I saw Beverly Hope. I was like, no.
I know. I think I sent you a message. I was like halfway through the episode, and I was like, I think Beverly's about to join the cult. No.
I was like, dude, that's why I was sitting texting.
Because I was trusting her throughout these past few episodes. I'm like, this is going to be like the woman that's going to discover it all. She's probably going to end up dying because she's going to end up discovering the truth. But she's going to fight for the truth. And I'm like, nah, this chick is freaking in the damn cult.
Exactly. And that's what killed me. Cause I'm like, damn it. I was like, she's going to be the Gail Weathers of it all.
Yes. Shout out to Gail Weathers.
Yeah, because this is the slasher season of American Horror Story. I don't care what anybody says. This is the slasher season. So, because you got masks, you have like who is it, like who's behind it and stuff like that, and pretty much Allie is the Sidney Prescott or the final, the Nancy Thompson. She's the various Jason heroines and stuff like that. So, I was thinking that Beverly's gonna be like the Gail Weathers. Like I'm gonna piece stuff together. Ali gonna team up. We're gonna piece the stuff together. But no, like,
No.
I'm running this shit, bitch.
Yes. Damn it, Beverly. And I think we got confirmation, at least for this murder, like who the clowns were. It was obviously Kai, Meadow, and Harrison.
Yes.
Was it Meadow? I thought it looked more like Winter.
No, I don't think it was Winter. I think it was. There's actually been an article came out from 2Fab that said that they can piece everybody who's behind each clown outfit and whatnot. But they actually got Winter as somebody else, but I don't see her as like. But then again, you can't trust that bitch. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh.
But, you can't trust her. But I just thought that was Meadow because Meadow just down for the cause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she is down for the cause.
Because technically in the I'm not trying to jump ahead, but technically in the chronology of, you know, all that mess, that was, but then again, I don't know, we could talk about that again because I was about to sit there and say that Winter was not into hurting anybody until the night of the election. But
Oh yeah,
obviously
this is
after the
post-election.
election. Yeah,
But
this
that's
So
post
that
election
means
already.
so that means it could be also be someone else that I'm gonna throw into the mix when we talk about it next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is true. I will say though, for her just having one episode, Emma Roberts ate all that scenery up.
she did.
Yeah.
She was like the biggest bitch ever.
She's typecast by Ryan Murphy into playing a bitch.
Yeah, but this was like a
Yes.
bitch that knew she had white privilege, like big time.
Yes.
She voted for Donald Trump, so yeah.
Yes,
I
even
can
though
see
she was
why.
all like, "Oh, girl power, Hillary," you know, HRC.
Exactly. I was like, you bitch. As soon as she sat there scribbling that damn Donald Trump, I said, you bitch. I was like, you finna get it. You finna get it. But I have a friend who adores Emma Roberts, and he was mad about last night's episode when she got killed. He was like, this episode's trash. I said, I said, how dare you? He said they killed her off. I'm like, she was a bitch. What do you expect? He's like,
Yeah.
she was a bitch on Scream Queens. I'm like, yeah, but
She was an entertaining one on Scream Queens.
yeah.
I will say I was more so worried about the dog than her.
I was too. Don't
I was like,
lie.
please don't
Dude,
stab the dog.
The when the dog came on the screen and like tried to lick like the little camera lens, I started cracking up.
Like, at least he survived the mess.
Yeah, they do care about puppies.
Yes,
Thankfully.
some people.
Priscilla, what about you? What did you think of Beverly Hope? Are you feeling Beverly Hope like we are?
I'm feeling Beverly Hope like you guys are. I'm totally like I like her more knowing now that she's like part of the bad guys. That she allows the script to kind of be handed to her by Kai because she's gonna gain power through him too. I like that. And her speech about rage, about wanting to be the last one alive just so you can watch all those other fuckers burn. I was like,
Yes.
holy shit, that's fucking metal. That's awesome. Wow.
Yes. I was like, you. All right, then, Bev. I was like, shit. But Priscilla, don't you think that in contrast, Bev has more of an ambition and a purpose than Meadow does?
Yes, for sure. Meadow's just kind of dumb. Like, there's nothing to say about her. She's very just blank.
And it kind of reminds me of this same scene when Kyle was like, these are great pics. These are great photos. These are awesome. And then she was like, you think so? And it was I thought it was more along the line. At first I was like, he just was like, you are useful. But at the same time, he was like, still shocked, like, oh, you came up with this? Like,
Wow, I totally didn't expect that from nobody like you. You have
Exactly.
something to offer.
exactly.
I don't know. That was probably like my favorite twist of this episode because I was exactly with you guys. I was hoping that she was just kind of the intrepid reporter that's getting all of the hints when nobody else is. But now you know. Well, it's really easy to have all the hints when they're fed to you.
Hmm. And then on top of that, I equated when Kai was talking to Bev in the restaurant. I was like, that was Donald Trump talking to Omarosa. Like,
Oh wow.
this is he saw
They
her.
were at the butchery on Maine.
Exactly. So that makes you wonder if the butchery is just that place to be seen at, or is like, I'm frustrated. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, that was a shock for me. I think a lot of people might have been shocked by what happened in the next story and like how two characters met up that we didn't think knew each other before. But for me, Beverly was the shock. I was like, oh, come on, woman. Like, ugh.
Yeah,
was
I
like-
was just upset.
I was disappointed, but
Yeah.
also like sort of like Priscilla, a little bit excited because it does, or I should say it will add a couple of layers to like all of her reports now, because now all of her reports are suspect, because what she's
Exactly.
trying to do, she's trying to like stoke the fear, she's trying to, make that fire burn and burn and burn until everyone's terrified, and she wants to create chaos as well.
Yeah.
For
Not to mention
ratings.
Not to mention Serena Belinda's death was pretty fucking epic. And
Yes.
that
Yes.
guy, Bob, was skeezy as fuck.
Oh yes.
The line the evening was, is she done pretending to like your prickle your spot what she call it?
Liver spotted dick or something like
Your
that.
liver spotted dick. I'm like, ooh.
Damn, you're talking that way to your boss?
She didn't have
Don't.
no fucks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Beverly Hope is hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the final sort of storyline from this episode, and we go back to the day before the election. We see Ivy trying to convince Allie to go to a pro-Hillary rally, but Allie's like, Trump's not going to win. The polls are up in Michigan for Clinton, and she's like, I would go if I would have thought that she was losing, but Trump is going to lose, basically. And so at the rally, Ivy and Gary Longstreet from the Field Market get into an argument. Basically, Ivy talking about Trump, Gary talking about Hillary, and it gets so intense that Gary literally grabs Ivy by the pussy. And it leaves Ivy stunned, but Winter ends up, getting into the middle of it, and by basically screaming and berating Gary, by talking about the police getting involved and all that kind of stuff, Gary ends up driving away. Winter and Ivy end up ditching the rally, and they eat at the butchery, and Ivy is still surprised that she didn't defend herself, and they talk a lot about politics and misogyny and that kind of thing. And so later on that night, at the market, Gary is closing up the grocery store, excited and anticipating the election the following day, and he notices that there's still a customer in the store. It is Winter. Winter distracts him while Ivy stuns him from behind with a stun gun. So they handcuff him. He's bound, and Gary, starts cursing at the women, and their plan is to keep him basically away from a polling place so he doesn't get to vote in the election. And when Winter goes home, Kai ends up, questioning, is that blood on you? and he asks for details and wonders how it felt to hurt someone. And I guess Winter, as we sort of know, she ends up like giving up the goods, not literally, figuratively, to Kai. Whenever he needs any details, she'll spill all the beans. And so Kai ends up finding Gary, and Gary's like, please, I need to go out and vote. So there's only an hour left before the precinct, closes and that kind of thing. And so Kai ends up, basically riling Gary up. And, he gets him like, how much do you want to vote? How much do you want to make things great again, I guess? And he gets him so riled up that Gary is willing to do anything. Because Kai's like, what are you willing to do to go and, vote for Trump? And so Kai hands Gary a saw, and Gary's like, I can't do anything with that. It's not going to saw through the handcuffs. And Kai's like, what are you really willing to do? And so Kai ends up, getting Gary all riled up, so much so that he saws his own hand off so that he can go and cast his vote. The best part of this was when Gary looks at Kai's like, are you going to watch? And Kai's like, yes. And so that's the end of the episode. But in chronological order, the beginning of the episode happens right after this. So we see election night. We see Beverly Hope reporting from the precinct where all of our characters are voting. Allie, Ivy, Dr. Vincent, Winter and her friends, Serena, the Wiltons. Everyone is at the polling place. Of course, we see who everyone votes for. Allie votes for Jill Stein, which we already know. Harrison actually votes for Gary Johnson. I just remembered.
Oh, okay.
Serena voted for Trump. Ivy, Beverly, RJ is Beverly's cameraman. Dr. Vincent and Winter and her friends all vote for Clinton. And Meadow votes for Oprah. One name only.
Basic bitch. I'm sorry.
We see Kai bringing in a bleeding Gary to the polling booth when the polling, I don't know what you call it, polling attendant, I guess, ends up questioning, like, is he bleeding? And Kai, like, ends up screaming, he wants to do his civic duty and vote. And so Gary and Kai end up voting. They both vote for Trump, and that's when Gary, comes out of his voting booth and holds up his freshly
Bleeding stump.
Yes. And it's like, this is Trump's America. So there you go. That's the episode. So let's discuss this. Let's break this down. Ivy and Winter knew each other before she arrived to be the nanny.
That was my big shock of the episode, because I was pulling for Ivy not being part of the cult.
Exactly.
She's in the cult.
But this is pulling toward, like, more evidence towards her being in the cult. And I don't want that.
She's swimming in the Kool-Aid.
No.
I don't think so, though. That's my...
whatever. You hate her.
Hold on. No, hold up. Because I'm with Priscilla. I was shocked because I'm like, holy shit.
I wasn't.
I was shocked because it was like she went and did something horrible to Gary, but she didn't do anything, like, she hasn't murdered anybody. You know what I'm saying? And
that we know of. She might have murdered Serena Belinda.
I don't think that she did, though. I don't think that was her. I think that was Meadow. Because wherever Harrison goes, Meadow is not too far behind. You know what I'm saying? With especially kind of stuff like that. I think that was Meadow all day long. I don't think that was because you still don't know that it took place post election, but you don't know like what day, did it happen before?
I don't trust her. You can have her. I'm giving her to you
No,
completely because I don't trust her.
well, I'm not saying that I completely trust her. I just said that I don't think that she is in the cult. It's kind of like, Beverly knows Harrison and Meadows in there, but I don't know if either of them know that George is a part of it. Or no, but they have to
Who's
know because
George? Gary.
Gary. Excuse me, Gary. I mean Gary.
Yeah. Can I just pause for a second? In my mind, I would love to be a fly on the wall of Cher's house while she watches this episode.
Man, I freaking wish I could hear that. Oh.
She's like, Chaz, what the fuck are you doing, boy?
Like, I didn't sign up for this shit, Chaz. Like,
if she could turn back time, that's what Cher's singing.
You damn right. She'll sit there and say, woo, boy, you done lost your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I know it's the TV show and all, but goddamn, Chaz, you into it too.
I need to search her tweets because I feel like she has to have commented at some point about Chaz on American Horror Story.
She has to have. Especially when he wore the fucking red hat. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I can hear the cell phone dropping from her lap as she's watching this and then picks it up and starts tweeting. You know it.
Oh God, it shouldn't be too far behind unless she's real busy doing something else. But,
yeah, she might binge it one day.
That's
too funny.
Or Chaz probably told her, Mom, you don't want to watch me this season on American Horror Story. Why not, Chaz?
Yeah.
I play a Trump supporter. Okay, then you don't have to say nothing else. Like, what possession to do this though? How much money is Ryan Murphy giving you? You know,
it is a bigger role though, so it's got to be better money than Roanoke. I'm just saying.
That is true.
Yeah, that's a bigger check. So so both of you were shocked that Ivy and Winter knew each other. I was not because I've been suspicious of Ivy since the start, basically.
Yeah.
What about that scene where Gary grabbed her by the pussy?
Man, what the fuck?
That kind of like disturbed me a little bit.
I was, and he was there for it felt like an eternity, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like the time stopped, and I was like, what the fuck? I was not expecting that at all.
Exactly, you felt like
I felt violated.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said it felt like an eternity. So it's like you can only imagine how it felt for her. And I think that was the reason why they kind of cut away from it. They kind of held a little bit, but it's just like wow, you really did go there. And
you felt for the character, and you felt just as shocked as she did when she doesn't react to it. As a viewer, you're like, what? I don't know what to feel about this. I don't know what to do about this. I feel very attacked, but I don't know how to process this. It was powerful. It was a very good I don't know how to. It was good direction.
Yeah. They did a lot this episode with pussy, with grab by the pussy, that whole Access Hollywood tape was haunting this episode because they did a lot with that. They had that really great line at the start of the episode when Serena turned back at Beverly and she was like, why are you a nasty woman or something like that? I was like, they used a lot of the little lines from the campaign this episode.
Yeah, that's a good point. Can I just for a split second just talk about Ivy just a little bit more?
Yes.
Because
I know you're not going to go in on her, but you can defend her if you want.
No. Why I got to be defending her all of a sudden? No, my thing is this, because I was pissed, because when I saw that, I just went ahead just these, Kill Bill type flashbacks and shit. I was like, so you went and exactly. You went and slapped the shit out of your wife for allegedly sleeping with the help when your ass was sitting there doing googly eyes and sat there and kind of It's like
Thank you. I was going to ask
it's-
that. Did we think there was any sort of sexual chemistry between them?
Yeah, there was. There,
there,
there, there definitely was.
there was, and I'm thinking like, well, shit, Winter, what's going on with you? Have both maybe y'all are just willing to sit there and just flip the script just to get what y'all need out of these people. And so I was like, because she sat there all willy-nilly without even blinking, said, yeah, let's go ahead and just capture this motherfucker. And
Yes.
put him in, and put him in the I mean, this is all in the
Put
same
him in put him in his own version of Saw.
exactly. And so, and at least they left him a plate of food. You know what I'm saying? They did at least leave him a plate of food. But I was like, how dare you? Because
I
everything
trusted you.
exactly. I mean, I sat there and like I rooted for you. We were all rooting for you. How fucking dare you?
All right, Tyra.
Exactly. I want to go on Tyrone Ivan and say, you gonna sit there and you, because the thing that I think the most that irked me the most about the whole scenario is like you went as far as slapping your wife. Like you really sold that.
Maybe she
Slap.
slapped her because she was like, I should have had that pussy first. I saw her first.
Or she just slapped her because she was probably fed up. There was like a chance for her to actually slap her silly.
Or it's all a part of the plan and she's going along with the cult.
And that's why I pumped my brakes there because I don't think that she's aware. Although you notice it's kind of convenient that we didn't see the shrink Dr. Vincent nowhere in this episode because I for the longest time thought he was a part of the cult as well.
Just voting.
Yeah, he was voting. However, it was just the concept of we didn't see like Kai recruit him.
Not yet, at least. Maybe there'll
True.
be another recruitment episode because I feel like we're all suspicious of Detective Samuels.
Oh yeah, of course. And we didn't see him this episode, did
Oh
we?
yeah.
No.
No, we didn't see him at all.
Because I think Samuels, you know what? I think Samuels was, you know what? I think, okay, let's go back to the grocery store. It was Meadow, Beverly, Samuels, and Harrison, and Kai on the grocery store.
Okay.
So which were the two that were humping?
That was Harrison and Samuels. How much you want to bet? Because I believe Harrison and Samuels are screwing each other.
But,
Oh.
but that was a girl clown, wasn't it?
I thought it was a female taking it.
It might have been.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then it might be Dr. Vincent and
Meadow?
maybe Meadow.
Or maybe I'm trying to think of the timeline. No, that would have been before when she said, you've only done me 2 times. Like, maybe in the heat of the moment? Or,
I don't
if
know.
Kai is like, fuck her right in the pussy, he'll be like, okay.
And because if you at the Too Fab article that I was just talking about earlier, it pretty much gave names to the clown mask and
I have
stuck
my
a
own
character.
personal names for the clown masks.
I know, try dildo. What you call them?
The dildo face, the ball gag girl, the melting tiny hands, and then the other one just looks kind of like the Joker, and then there's the weird one that looks like they have the eyes without a face, like sewn up face look. I haven't really figured out a good name for that one.
Okay, this is from Pop. I kept saying Too Fab. It's PopSugar.com. PopSugar.com says that Kai is the trifascia clown.
No, the dildo face.
Yeah, the dildo. And Meadow is Little Girl Down. That's the one with the
ball gag.
The ball gag, yeah. Then they said that Harrison is the toothy clown.
Is that the one
orange-
that looks like the Joker? With the green hair?
Yeah, they said
Okay.
this green hair.
That makes
psycho is
sense because he's tall.
Yeah. And also at the grocery store, this clown appears to be having sex with another male clown over the watermelon display, which also fits Harrison, who is gay.
Oh, okay, so they think it's a male. I thought the person looked female.
And
Yeah.
then they said that if this and Dr. Vincent might be the brainy clown, and they said if this turns out to be true, we applaud the cheekiness of making the therapist a clown with the giant brain showing. Beverly is the Satanist clown with the melty hands.
Oh, okay.
They said that Winter might be the new girl clown with
The eyes without a face looking.
not that one. They think that's Ivy. She might be the Harlequin clown.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the new
Because-
girl clown?
That's the one with the I think they're gonna show her next. She was in episode 3 for a split
Oh,
second. She had
the one with the big face.
the big face and the puzzle pieces, like her face is made out of puzzle pieces.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. She looks
But
kind of
they-
like baby doll-ish.
Yeah, but they said that this one is probably Winter because remember Winter couldn't have been in the chain house because she was looking in the window with Ozzy. That particular clown was not there that night, so she was the one who showed up at the I think the what's the couple who the woman who was scared of being no clothes.
Chang?
Oh, yes. No, the
No.
ones the coffin couple.
Okay.
Yeah, and they say this is the Harlequin clown is kind of tricky. Because they got 2 more clowns that's gonna pop up. An elephant clown and a black and white striped pants clown. Let me see. So that's 2 more that might show up, and then hell, one of them might be Gary, but the Harlequin clown looks like it could be Ivy if it is Ivy, because Ivy is wearing the same shirt as Harlequin clown in the premiere episode. Plus, she was
Oh.
right at the restaurant right then and could have easily donned the mask in order to terrorize her wife Allie. But
You better get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no offense to Chaz, but I think it's gonna be obvious which one's Gary.
Oop.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but like body types, you know what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
Sure. Okay.
I just sent it
Talking
to-
about shade.
Yes, no offense, Cher, if you're listening.
I sent it to you. I sent that article to you, Jeff.
Okay, I'm excited to read it. So I guess we aren't surprised that Gary doesn't have a hand because he didn't have a hand in the first episode. Was there anything else anything else in particular about this storyline that we saw sort of like bookend the episode at the beginning, at the end, that surprised you, that you think is important that we should discuss?
Nope. Just
No.
putting together that finally that scene in the grocery is completely true, and that that Gary was trying his best to make her sound like an unreliable narrator by saying
Yep.
that she was just throwing wine bottles at nothing.
And he is the store owner because the
Mhm.
name of the store is on the side of his truck. So
Mm-hmm.
it fits. But I called it for episode 1. I said no because why the hell would you don Make America Great Again hat to a woman who clearly cannot stand Trump, and then you conveniently disappear from the goddamn store while all this chaos is taken down? Now, if you're a locally owned business, all your merchandise is like precious, and so especially the wine, because wine is just fuck
Expensive and delicious.
Exactly. So I was calling that, but this episode answered a lot of questions so early on, which makes me think that my theory of the whole storyline and the theme might shift a bit by like episode 6 is true. But I noticed that we don't have we still know who is who and what their motives are. Not all, because I'm thinking it could be a couple of surprises towards the end of this particular part of the story. We still don't know why they're coming after Allie. Like, why her?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are they attacking her? You know what I'm saying? So, and now it raises the question even more, because Kai, with each person, he kind of changed his background around too with each person, because he told Harrison that he was into computers and stuff like that, but then he went to. Did he say he went to Mensa? Or something like that?
that
What's that
he
with-
No, that means that he said that he was a genius and
Yeah,
that he
that
was
he's a part of
in the
Mensa.
military.
and that he was in
Yeah.
the military, yeah. And then he told Beverly, that he studied poli-sci and like
Women's
feminist issues
Exactly.
or women's issues or something like that.
women's studies.
Yes.
To placate her, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think he's changing his story to like make himself be more believable to the people that he's trying to recruit.
Hmm.
sympathetic, but in reality, all he wants is control and chaos. So, I'm not controlling chaos. He wants to be the controller of the chaos, or something like that. That makes any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Mm-mm-mm.
pretty much all I get.
Well, one final question before we head into the MVP. When Beverly was lured in, like one thing he said, like at the coffee shop meeting, was like that we would be equal, and then like she was like, "We're gonna be equal, right?" And he was like, "Yes." Do we think that's for real, real? Or do you
Fuck
think
no.
it's like sort of like the cult type of lingo of like we're all equal, we all share the power, like that type of thing, but like he's really in power.
Exactly. Yeah,
Cult lingo all the way.
yeah, yeah. Cosign.
Beverly, you are too smart to fall for this.
And but it's funny you say that because I believe she's gonna be the one that's going to
Tear him
um,
down.
tear him down. She has too much shit on. Because she's the one. Because think about it, Harrison and Meadow are pretty much grunts. Beverly's role is to control the narrative of the media. But see, to have somebody do that, they have to be aware and see people for what they are and shit like that. So she's gonna realize that they're not so equal, and she's gonna start questioning shit. This is my prediction. She's gonna start questioning shit, and then when she realizes that she has a lot of stuff on him, she might try to sit there and try to take him out with the information she has, but she's in a way that it's not going to implicate her as well. But I think it's gonna be her mistake, and that's when he's gonna like take her out instead. Plus, she's probably the only minority in the whole group.
It'd be funny if she's like the queen bee.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily that
yeah,
she has the power, but like she's like the female that's in charge ish.
yeah. Cause didn't we bring that up before? Like, what if there was a queen bee somewhere that we don't know nothing about?
Mm-hmm.
That would be hot.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But while we wait, let's discuss the MVP, the most valuable player. Which character impressed you the most and why? The rules are simple. State which character impressed you throughout the episode and why. And if someone has already mentioned the character you were going to choose, you must select a different one. And I have not gone first this season, so I am picking myself first
Of
because
course.
y'all know who I'm gonna pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beverly Hope is my MVP. Adina
No.
Porter lit a fire in this episode. Everything. I mean, from seeing her, be sort of like what we thought, was normal, news reporter out on the scene on election night, to seeing her rivalry with Serena, to then seeing the Grab Her by the Pussy remix. I mean, everything. And then seeing her just filled with rage and Kai taking advantage of that. Like, that scene, even though it was more so like Evan Peters like acting it, but like him rewinding and like us focusing on her face and seeing a broken woman there, basically humiliated in a sense because Bob's bringing up her stint in rehab, like seeing that and then like seeing her, take jabs at Bob and Serena and then finally, getting lured in by Kai. I mean, it was just beautifully acted, and unfortunately, Adina Porter did not get an Emmy nomination for Roanoke, which I felt she deserved. So hopefully, she gets some sort of recognition for this because this episode in particular was a highlight because of her. So, who to choose next? Hopefully, I didn't take anyone's MVP. But let's see. Priscilla, you may go next.
I'm totally picking Chaz Bono's character because I can't help but like think of how twisted it is to have somebody who's completely like liberal and who's the opposite of what this like cis white male character is like, and takes all of that rage but still manages to like make it believable that he's the like the opposite of what who he is as a real person. And I don't know, just that scene where he grabs her by the pussy, it was just horrifying in like the best sort of way, in that you just see him and you're like, whoa, how did you get to this point, man? Why did you do this? Like it's great. And I that ending scene where he's like about to slash his hand off, and he looks at him and like, are you really gonna like stare at me throughout this entire thing? Like, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, that grab her by the pussy scene, that's when shit got real. For real.
Mm-hmm.
Bigly. We heard a Bigly in the episode as well. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we heard a Bigly.
Yes. Mark, what about you? Who's your MVP?
Kai, I had to give it to him this week. I hated him from the start. I was like, fuck this bastard. He needs to have his ass kicked. He needs to be stumped. I don't care for him. But tonight he showed just how dangerous he really is, because at first I initially thought Kai as being like that, that kid that has the tantrum in the grocery stores, you want to just yank and knock the fuck out of him. He reminded me of that in the first 2 episodes. But this episode, he just delivered. And Evan Peters really owns this role. And I have to give it to him, because he sat there and took, because you still don't know how he's been, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't know how he's been profiling them. You don't know how. Yes, he says he's good with computers and stuff like that, but it's more than that. Like, he went and picked and sniffed these people out. Like, he smelled their fear and desperation, and he just lunged and attacked like a leech. And it unnerved me. So for him to actually make me actually like pay attention to him, like, and really just listen to what he had to say and be like, damn, that he is making a point. I have to give it to Kai.
Now it's time to rate the episode on a 1 to 10 clown mask scale. The point system is allowed, and if you find the episode exceptional, deserving of more than a 10, you may grant it the coveted Twisty the Clown Mask. And let's go in reverse order, so that means, Mark, you are first.
I'm giving it the coveted Twisty the Clown Mask because I just thought the writing was just excellent, and the execution, the acting, the direction, it was just everything. I went to bed a happy camper, and then I had to watch this movie that would just totally ruin all that. But I'm still happy about that episode, and it's only making me more excited for next week's episode. It's like I know some shit's gonna pop off next week after this. So,
Priscilla?
Seconding that, I'm giving it another Twisty Clown Mask, because it was perfect. It was it caught my attention. It had just enough bloodshed and murder to satisfy like that horror buff in me, but it still had like that kind of that eerie creepiness, like that vibe coming from somebody who's just really charismatic, twisting people to his own ends. So definitely deserves the Twisty the Clown Mask.
I like it. And you get an additional point for using the word twisting in your response.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to co-sign with all of you. Twisty the Clown Mask from me as well. A stellar episode for the season. Incredibly strong episode for all of the actors involved. And I mean, it was just revelatory, and we just were given additional puzzle pieces, so now we're like finally putting things together, and I'm curious to see where we're gonna go next, and I'm also curious to see if we're gonna get another episode that will sort of fill in the blanks a little bit more, maybe with some of the other members of the cast. I'm looking at you, Dr. Vincent and Detective Samuels. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. And I'm also looking at you, Ivy. So I'm still suspicious about you. So maybe we'll get an episode about the three of them and how they joined the cult. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But on that note, join us next time for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid Cult? Once again, here's our announcer to remind you on how you can interact with us.
Follow Poppy Chula Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Poppy Chula Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through Apple Podcasts and Google Play. Just search for Are You Afraid, Cult, and subscribe.
Thanks, announcer. My co-hosts, please wish the listeners a good night.
Peace and soul.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. Download new episodes of Are You Afraid Cult every Thursday via Apple Podcasts and the Poppy Chula Radio archives. Good night.